Hello Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and welcome to your reading. So Pisces, today we're going to go over your energy as well as your person's energy. We're going to see how the both of you are currently viewing this relationship and how you guys feel about it and what actions you guys plan on taking in each other's direction and are moving forward. So with all that being said, Pisces, let's get started. How does Pisces currently view this relationship? All right, Pisces, let's see what we got. So we do have the Two of Cups. We do have the Six of Swords, okay? We also have the Eight of Swords, and then we also have the 10 of Swords. Okay, Pisces. In regards to how you're currently viewing this relationship, right off the bat, I am definitely getting that you're dealing with somebody who has a tendency of playing with your head as well as your heart. I am definitely getting that strongly. Why? I don't know, but we're going to look into why that is, because there's somebody here who's definitely playing with your head as well as your emotions. And it's kind of getting to that point where them playing with your head as well as your emotions is starting to take a massive toll on you, mentally, spiritually, as well as emotionally. Let's look at this person. How does this person currently view this relationship with Pisces? Okay. It's like one day they want you, the next day they don't. I do feel like this is somebody who's very, very unpredictable. They're very, very unpredictable. Something's causing this person to fall into this energy of essentially feeling like they have to get up and basically walk away from you in this dynamic that they share with you. I'm kind of curious to see what's going on their behalf that's causing them to essentially feel like they have to get up and walk away from you in this dynamic that they share with you. Okay, let's look at that. Tell me more about the Five of Pentacles to the Two of Swords. Okay. So we have the Nine of Cups, we have the Justice card, and then we also have the Ten of Swords. Okay. According to them, this person feels like this dynamic between the two of you is not essentially good for them, nor is it bringing in that sense of happiness that they thought it would essentially bring into this person's life. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like the moment things go left between the two of you, they're very quick to fall into this mentality of, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm out. This is too much. This is too hard. I am definitely getting that. Now, am I convinced that this person is 100% done with you? No. I just kind of feel like you guys are going through a really hard time right now, and it's instantly causing them to fall into this mentality of, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. This is too hard. This is too challenging. This is too difficult. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't feel like you honestly have anything to worry about as far as this dynamic between the two of you coming to an end, is concerned. I just kind of feel like your person, unfortunately, is like that. I think that what this person is striving for, regardless if they're consciously aware of it or not, but I think that what this person is striving for within this dynamic that they share with you is remotely impossible. This person is striving for a perfect marriage or a perfect relationship. And it doesn't matter, where this person goes or who this person ends up with. They're never going to have a perfect marriage. They're never going to have a perfect relationship. They're striving for something that is remotely impossible to obtain and or achieve. Is basically what I'm getting. Okay. So when things don't play out the way that they want it to between the two of you, they're very quick to fall into this energy of, you know what, this is not for me. This is too challenging. This is too freaking hard. You know what I mean? I am definitely getting that. Now, you don't have that mentality that they have. Like, you're very realistic when it comes down to your relationship with this person or anyone like that. Like, you're very realistic in the sense where you're going to experience some good times with that person, some bad times with that person. Like, you're very realistic in that aspect. You're not setting any sort of unrealistic expectations upon them, or this dynamic that the two of you share with one another. You're going to experience some good times with them, and you're going to experience some bad times with them, but it looks like you're very determined to stick by this person's side through the good and the bad times. Them, on the other hand, it's like, when people get married, like they, one of the things, the vows is, for better or for worse. This person comes off to me as somebody who's only in it for the better, not necessarily for the worst. Okay. Um, and I think that there's a reason behind that. I feel like this person, um, has definitely stuck by a person's side through the good and the bad times. And in the end, it just simply didn't work out. You know what I mean? To the point where their patience are at an all-time low. When it comes down to going through things that they don't necessarily want to go through or feel like they deserve to essentially go through. And I get it. You know what I mean? Like when you've been in a marriage or relationship for, a long time, and, that person's putting you through X, Y, and Z, and it doesn't end up essentially working out in the end. I get the whole them not wanting to essentially put themselves in that predicament again. I get that. You know what I mean? But again, what they're striving for is something that's impossible to obtain, which is basically a perfect marriage and a relationship. But how does Pisces currently feel? Okay. So in regards to how you're currently feeling, we have the King of Pentacles to the Five of Swords to the Ace of Wands to the Page of Swords. Okay. When it comes down to them wanting to essentially walk out of your life is concerned, it doesn't look like that's something that you're essentially okay with, okay? So I do see you definitely putting up a fight to keep this person and this dynamic that you share with this person, intact and afloat. I am definitely getting that. This is that type of person that gives up when shit gets hard. You don't give up when shit gets hard. I am definitely getting that. That's the big difference between you and this person. Yeah, that's a big difference between you and this person. They give up when things get hard. You don't. You definitely don't. Okay. How does this person, currently feel? Okay. We have the Queen of Swords to the Three of Swords. We also have the Two of Wands, and then we have the Nine of Pentacles. This person basically feels like they would be better off without this dynamic in their life versus with this dynamic in their life. And here's why. This person knows that if the two of you were to essentially break up, they're not going to find themselves going through whatever it is that they've essentially been going through. Because they would basically be single and alone. The only person that they would have to essentially deal with is basically themselves and nobody else. So being single for them seems more... It just seems more pleasing, I would say, for them than to be in a relationship with someone. Is basically what I'm getting. Now, do I think that this person's going to see this ending through? No. I don't think that this person's going to essentially see this ending through whatsoever. I don't. I'm not really worried and concerned about it. To be honest. I mean, I see you putting up a fight to keep this person in their life. I see you putting up a fight to keep this person in your life. And I see this person putting up a fight to exit this dynamic that the two of you essentially share with one another. Will they actually essentially leave? No. No, and here's why. When a person is truly done with someone, they're not going to sit there and go back and forth with that person. They're just going to get up and go. There is no back and forth. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here. A whole lot of back and forth going on here. So no, I don't think that this person truly is done with you and this dynamic that they share with you, because if they were truly done, they would just get up and go, and that's the end of that story. They're not going to sit up here and go back and forth with you about absolutely not, anything. So no, I don't think that this person's actually going to get up and walk away from this dynamic that they essentially share with you. Again, I just kind of feel like the moment things don't necessarily go the way that they wanted to, they're very quick to be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. I just kind of feel like with this person, they're truly in it for the better, not necessarily for the worst. And the moment things start to get bad, they're just like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is too challenging. This is too hard. This is too difficult. I don't want to do this anymore. So it makes sense as to why this person feels like they would be better off just being single and alone than being in a relationship. Because when you're single and alone, you don't gotta worry about anybody but yourself. You know what I mean? You don't have to deal with anybody but yourself. You know what I mean? But when you're in a relationship, it's a different story. So I understand why it's more pleasing to them when it comes down to just, being single and alone than being in a relationship. I mean, I get that. I understand that. But let's keep going. What actions will Pisces take towards this person or moving forward? Ooh, We have the Knight of Swords, we got the Seven of Swords, and then we also have the Eight of Pentacles. This to me kind of feels like an energy of you kind of like flipping the script on them. It looks like this person wants to walk out of your life so badly. I am definitely getting that, because as much as you try to put up a fight to keep this person in their life, all they want to do is, you know, fight against it and tell you how much they want to get up and walk away from this dynamic because they just can't take it anymore. Okay, this whole you putting up a fight is going to essentially stop. In other words, if this person wants to essentially walk out of your life, you're going to let them walk out of your life. But I do feel you're going to convey to them, look, I want to work this out, but if you want to walk out of my life, I'm not going to stop you. This to me just kind of feels like you know, flipping the script on them. All right, let's see what happens. Let's see if they actually get up and go, which I highly doubt it, but what? Hold on, let me grab this card that fell. 1 second. All right, we have the Page of Pentacles. Okay. What actions will this person take towards Pisces? Or moving forward. All right, so we have the Page of Pentacles to the Eight of Pentacles. And then we also have the Five of Swords. The moment that you stop putting up a fight, my friend, the moment that you flip the script on this person is the moment that I see this person wanting to essentially come around and fix things with you or repair things here with you. So again, this is kind of like, you know, acting as a double confirmation. They could sit here and say that's it, they're done with you all they want, but are they really done with you? No, they're far from done with you. I just think that this person needs to be very, very realistic when it comes down to what they're actually signing themselves up for. When it comes down to being in a committed relationship with a person, you're going to go through some, you know, good moments and bad, you know, moments. It is what it is. It is what it is. And I think that that's something that this person just needs to accept. I also feel like this person needs to accept that what they're chasing is unrealistic. And it's something that they're never going to essentially be able to obtain, not with you, not with the next one or the one after that. They're never going to be able to obtain a perfect marriage and a relationship. It's just never going to happen. Because at the end of the day, we're all imperfect people. You know what I mean? We're going to fuck up. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to dry hump, you know, our significant other's nerves. It is what it is. It is what it is, you know? I just kind of feel like they need to be a little bit more realistic. You know what I mean? When it comes down to what they're really signing themselves up for. Okay, because I just feel like they want this perfect relationship that just does not exist, unfortunately. I wish that was a thing. Okay, I wish it was a thing, but it's not. It truly is not a thing, you know. They also need to stop being the type of person that's very quick to essentially give up. They also need to stop doing that too. Yeah, they also need to stop doing that too. They can't be so quick to essentially give up, you know, that easily, you know, when it comes down to you and this dynamic that they share with you. Because if they truly want a long-term committed relationship in their life, they can't be this way. They can't be the type of person that's very quick to give up the moment things don't go their way or the moment you do something to dry hump their last nerve. Like, they can't do that. They can't do that. Not if they want something long-term and stable in their life. They can't do that. They can't function / operate from this place. I think that in time, this person will learn to accept the fact that there is no such thing as a perfect marriage and a relationship. I think that in time, this person will essentially see the error in their own ways. This whole them wanting to essentially give up the moment shit gets hard. I think that they will learn in time that they cannot continue to be this way. Because if they truly want something long-term in their life, they need to learn to essentially fight for it. They need to fight for it. Because if they don't fight for it, it's not going to last. It's not going to work out. You know what I mean? And that's what comes with being in a committed relationship. You gotta fight. You gotta fight to keep it intact and afloat. You're gonna go through some shit you don't want to fucking go through. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know, it is what it is. But you don't have to worry, because this person's not going anywhere like they say they are. It's basically what I'm getting, Pisces. All right. So that's what I have for you. Hopefully the reading helped. Hopefully it resonated. And I will see you guys in your next reading. Bye.